Listen.
Have you ever been nominated? No.
Now, when it comes to the Oscars, I know that some people get tired of all of the hate, all the negativity when it comes to the award show, because it is meant to be a celebration of cinema, a time to honor filmmakers, a time to appreciate the movies that moved us. And well, when we get back to that, we'll stop. If anything, the buffoonery this year was top 5. Things got sexual, things got physical, things got mental. It turned from Sunday night Oscars to Monday night SmackDown. They had that place hotter than August that Tammy was walking around with no shirt. And even though they cut out awards in order to save time, the show still ran longer. What a slap in the face. So whether you love the winners or felt about them, whether you choose paper over rock, one thing's for sure. Y'all better not skip the doc section ever again. Let
it's me.
Okay.
me explain.
Well, we're going to have a great night tonight.
So believe it or not, the Oscars are actually a program about movies, and one thing that the Oscars love to do is give out honorary awards. This year they had a bunch of Governor Awards that went to Elaine May, Liv Ullmann, Samuel L. Jackson, who gave a really good speech that I recommend hearing, and even a humanitarian award for Danny Glover. And all those were cut from the show and shown on a completely separate day, and even when they mentioned them on the broadcast, all we got was a... You then had the short film winners that were cut short since they edited a lot of their speeches, meaning that if you weren't in the room where it happened, then you didn't get to hear them fully. But shout out to Riz for his win, and Shaq for producing his first one with an assist from Curry, and I have all the shorts linked down below in case you were curious on streaming them. They also booted a couple of other awards that the Motion Picture Academy felt weren't important, like, the person who works on the score for the movie, the people who work on the sound, the people who work on the sets, like even the winning editor who puts the movie together was completely disrespected when he won, and they credited Hans Zimmer, a composer, for his award. Then when they did fix it, they made the movie title bigger than his name. Then they took a whole 2 days to fix that. Like, they edited the editor's speech so bad that he himself had to release the Walker cut on his Insta. So amidst all of the mic cuts, the bad edits, the fact that the tech people there had no idea what a constant gain was, you really realize that what makes these award shows pop isn't just awkwardly jump cutting to the speeches that were pre-recorded, but it's that anticipation of who's going to get announced while you're seeing them in their little boxes, It's the whole walk-up and the shock on their face. So to know that red carpet pre-show was just a repeated segment over and over again, just show us the broadcast. But hey, I get it. They needed to keep things tightly edited.
These people are geniuses. They are the nominees for achievement in sound.
We then wasted some time by getting a sports trio that introduced a Bond montage that didn't even lead into the Billie Eilish performance. We had some BTS with BTS. The teleprompter spelled out Simu Liu. And Rachel Zegler, who complained her way to the Oscars, was revealed to not have been invited because she wasn't invited, but because she actually was pre-scheduled to be filming a little movie called Snow White. So she literally stopped that entire production just so she can pop in on TV and say,
Growing up in Australia, I never thought that I would stand on this stage.
And I never thought that I would be here 6 days ago. We did it.
I think there's a reason they didn't include her with the other Disney princesses. Now, every year we get reminded that as virtuous as the Academy, wants to come off, never take them for a morality test. They have no character counts. These are the people who kept mentioning Ukraine as a segue, but spent more time on the presenters' gift bags than what they probably donated.
Aren't Wormies amazing? These are plush stuffed animals that you pop into the microwave, and it makes the ultimate cuddle buddy for your kid or you, truthfully. They're pretty amazing. This year, we have a $50,000 vacation package for them to Turin Castle in Scotland. Private access to a 10-bedroom castle, gin tasting. They get bagpipers greeting them. And while they're in Scotland, they can actually visit the plot of land that they're getting from Highland titles.
This year, they really wanted to show off female empowerment by not trusting one to lead, but 3.
This year, the Academy hired 3 women to host because it's cheaper than hiring 1 man.
Well, man, there's nothing more than grating than having to get written approval for a joke like this from the board, but they won't write the checks. But hey, they randomly put the makeup award before Best Actor, so very progressive. In my opinion, the jokes were 50-50. They regulated Regina to be the groper for equality, kept psyching Wanda out with the prompter every time she had to say her lines, and Amy Schumer was nominated for Best Adapted Jokes.
After years of Hollywood ignoring women's stories, this year, we finally got a movie about the incredible Williams sisters' dad.
The most annoying part, in my opinion, is that if you're hosting a ceremony that's meant to appreciate films, Why do you always have bits like this?
You know, I watched that movie 3 times, and I'm halfway through it. Yeah.
I didn't see any of them. I didn't see them.
And no one has ever seen this movie.
Never been seen.
It's a never been seen movie.
Okay.
Okay, not even by the director.
Uh-oh.
Now, I got a screener of The Last Duel.
Call me a nerd for wanting to know stuff about the filmmaking and how it's made, for actually caring, but it's bad when they made a commercial for their multi-million-dollar museum and somehow convinced people not to go visit it. Honestly, the only movie that should have been disrespected was Don't Look Up, which they actually did by being the only one that they put the previously recorded tag on, since they knew they didn't want the audience to sit through it. This year, they also introduced a new award for fans that people were able to vote on Twitter, and Disney did not stand a chance against the Snyder fans. So now the Academy has recognized Army of the Dead as the fans' movie of the year, and The Flash Enters Speed Force as the best movie moment, not of the year, but of all time. I know there's no physical award that they give out for this, but the kids are in the age of NFTs. As long as it's on the IMDb, they don't care about the gold.
But second Warner Brothers.
Dune ended up getting every award that makes the best movie, except the award for Best Movie, but ended up scoring 6, just like Mad Max did, as they were kind of like the similar movies of this year for the Academy. And just like Mad Max, they also got costumes over here for Cruella, with Jenny Beavan winning, and even calling out Disney in the after show, because it turns out that Disney's been taking the money for the costumes she makes and not giving her a dime for all of the merchandise, the costumes, the toys, any of it.
Suddenly, I realized there was this wealth of inequality and just walking over you. I mean, when we do a film, Furiosa at the moment, I'm thinking about it 24/7. And it's my ideas and my thoughts, and suddenly they own it. But yes, it's not gone away. I think they may have felt it's gone away, but it hasn't.
In terms of screenplays, look, I don't know how these two won when these were nominated, so it's going to be fun looking back at this category in a decade, but hey, while I was rooting for the worst person, at least it went to nice people. Then there was the category for documentary feature, which was really dramatic. Because I've been rooting for Summer of Soul ever since we caught it back at Sundance last year.
I didn't even know this was a contest, yo. I thought, oh my God, man. So... wow.
It's awesome to see Questlove win an Oscar, and then in the following week go present and win a couple more Grammys.
I'm going to present this award, and I trust that you people will stay 500 feet away from me. Just playing.
Keeping with the music, we had a bunch of performances for Best Original Song. I'm still surprised they didn't have So May We Start From Annette, because that would have been a perfect way to begin the actual ceremony. But we did have the opening performance come from Beyonce for Be Alive from King Richard, and it was actually shot where the Williams sisters practiced in Compton. They also had the song from 4 Good Days that Reba did, and it took me back to the after-school reruns. That woman sings like she's living the lyrics up on stage. She even had Jonas and Travis Barker assisting in the back. The Belfast song was nominated, but wasn't performed. I don't know if that's because they realized that even with cutting down the eligibility of original music, it was still not original. But we did have 2 from Encanto. Only one was nominated, which was Dos Oruguitas, and they killed that performance. It was one of my favorite songs, but it's also ABC Disney, so of course they found a way to talk about Bruno. They had a whole performance, a remix, and an international TikTok montage in the back, so I mean, there is that, but the winner ended up going to one of my other favorites, which was No Time to Die from No Time to Die, which Billie already won the Grammy for last year, so now she could let it die. Best Animated Film went to Encanto, but the real winner was The Mitchells director Michael Rianda, who showed up with a banner that credited the entire animation crew multiple times. International feature film went to Drive My Car, which is really one of the best ones. It was a stat category this year. I just hated how they cut off the man multiple times.
For bringing Drive My Car to United States. Thank you very much. And I also would like to, just a moment. Thank you very much.
The thing with the Oscars is that they really do see it as wins for the country as if it were the Olympics.
This is the 5th Oscar and 14th nomination for Japan.
Besides the campaigns that these studios do to butter up voters, you have to realize that you're also dealing with film markets, so the reason a lot of people get upset when an international Best Picture winner is announced is because America. We also had the In Memoriam, which I know a lot of people were upset about. It was given an upbeat tempo, which I know a lot of people had a problem with, and look, you gotta understand, not everybody mourns the same way you do. Some like to drink, some like to sing, some like to dance because they see it as a celebration of life. So while I personally didn't mind it, I will agree that you gotta make sure that you at least see the names in the frame, It should never take up a quarter of the screen. For Best Supporting Actress, it was a stacked year. Aunjanue Ellis gave a solid performance. Jessie Buckley will one day get one. Kirsten Dunst really wanted it, but it ended up going to my favorite, Ariana DeBose, who gave a fantastic speech that I would highly recommend to go check. But I'm just bummed with the Oscars, because they're always so quick to boast their stats, as if we're supposed to thank them that they haven't honored a Latina in so long, because the last one to win would be Rita for playing the exact same character of Anita. So I can't wait for the next winner when we get the remake of West Side 2049.
I can't believe it! Good Lord! I leave you with that.
No wonder the show was shorter back then. For Best Supporting Actor, it was another stacked year with Cody Smith-McPhee really wanting it and, being my personal favorite. Jesse Plemons, who will one day get it, but it went to Troy Kotsur, who gave a speech that was probably one of the best of the night, and I highly recommend listening to it if you get the chance.
To my mom, my dad, and my brother Mark, they're not here today, but look at me now. I did it. I love you. Thank you.
Then came the director's category, which was really stacked, and again, another reason why you gotta see those squares, because you can see that Stevie really wanted it in order to honor his pops with the movie. Pop was just chilling, but it went to Jane Campion for Power the Dog, which was my personal favorite, and having listened to all of the behind the scenes for this movie, she 100% deserved it. It's just crazy to think that this was the most nominated movie with 12 awards, and it only won 1 out of 12 awards. Like, the only thing more confusing than that was seeing Will smile for this specific honoree. Okay, listen. Now, everything was good the week of. Everything looked bright, the focus was on the movies, and then two world stars collided. See, the problem is Chris didn't realize that I had already used up the one hair joke pass for the show.
I was very disappointed that Space Jam 2 did not get nominated in the special effects category for that hairline they gave LeBron James.
Oh my God, amazing.
It was really good. It was really good.
And now we're not getting Madagascar 4. Will was getting up all night, so you just knew that stage was too close and was breaking COVID protocols. So when the joke finally happened, Jada didn't have to scream. One look at Will and that set it off. Man stormed up there and smacked him like a tambourine and left him in a spiral. But Chris is a stand-up guy. He knew how to get rocked live and still roll with the punches.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
The entire Dolby Theater just dimmed and turned into heartbreak. Jay-Z was having flashbacks. Garfield was searching up the uncensored version. Bateman was thrilled to see Will's hand cocked. And all that for a joke that wasn't even mid. From Rock's perspective, part of this goes back to his 2016 Oscar monologue. He hosted it and took jabs at the Smiths since that was the year that Will boycotted because he didn't get the nomination for Concussion. But to tell the truth, he's still upset he didn't get it for Ali. And it's crazy. When it was Diddy who had to come out and call for peace, while presenting for The Godfather.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
Worst thing Chris did was just stand there. It's also the best thing he did, but imagine if he would have come up with another joke on the spot. That man would have ascended. Instead, he just watched Will strut the longest yard up to him, pull up with that open stance, and bop him down to earth. At this point, I just want someone to push the button on that Drake diss to finally leak, to get Rock on the record for what he thought that moment right before he bit his tongue.
Okay.
Man really said, why oughta. What he oughta not said was
Macbeth.
Because now that man made the wiki. Yo, that curse is more real than Lil B's. From Will's perspective, what hasn't been said? The whole convo's been all over the place, and it's gotten so messy that people don't even realize they're sharing reactions from the Moonlight Oscars from half a decade ago. Like everyone, I love his shows. I love his movies. I really love his book. I just always saw him as a dude who preaches to turn the other cheek. Not turn cheeks. Like, I agree with free speech, but I am also one who agrees that if you say something, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences. So from now on, I'm staying silent and slapping so I can get off scot-free.
I'm being called on in my life to love people.
Then came the eventual win for Will, which I, like many, was excited for. He honored Denzel as the best actor who supports, compared himself to the character of Richard Williams, made it seem like he was in The Conjuring 3 with the way he said the devil made him do it, but I love how they gave him no cutoff, since the orchestra only had 6 degrees of separation from him. In the end, I think everyone got the buzz they wanted, Will really pulled a Tony Soprano, because he was tired of seeing that one meme and wanted to replace it with another. It worked, rock sales went through the roof, WebMD searches went up faster than an ice bucket challenge, and the Oscars finally bumped their ratings into being only the second lowest turnout of all time. Best Actress ended up going to Jessica Chastain, who also thanked the makeup team of Tammy Faye for winning their prize and coming up with even better makeup for the permanent damage she got from that makeup. So, well earned, Jess.
Thank you so much for bringing out the best in me by showing up every day with the best of you.
Thank you.
Finally, there was the big award of the night, which went to Coda, bringing in a 100% win streak, going 3 for 3. And look, I'm happy for it. It wasn't my personal favorite, but hopefully it moves the Academy to not just award more films, but also properly pay the work that they outsource for 18 cents an hour. If you like Coda, I would also recommend the short nominee Audible from this year that's streaming over on Netflix, and that one follows an all-deaf school's football team, as well as Drive My Car, which boasts multiple languages, one of them being Korean Sign Language. But you gotta realize that a big part of this is the whole streaming wars, you know? For years, Netflix has been trying to get that Best Picture win in order to be the first streaming service to get it, but, you know, the industry really hates Netflix. Like, to this day, we've talked about how AMC will not play their movies for the awards watch, even though they're nominated. But hey, that Apple money finally spoke to them. So besides winning the big one, they will always be known as the first streaming service to ever take it home, dawning in a new era. Now we wait for them to nominate TikToks and bring the shorts back on live, because, I mean, they're already sponsoring Con. Thank you all for checking out this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Honestly, it's a good thing the Globes canceled, because that might have been a food fight, you know. But I did want to shout out our little nominee ceremony that we did. If you go over to Intercut, we talked about, Zach and I, the different nominees that we turned into food form. And I'm really curious to see what other people do for their Oscar parties. You know, I know it's like the Super Bowl for movies at the end of the year. Unlike sports, though, we know that the winners, you know, are the ones that won your heart. This is just all campaigning. But for the most part, it's always fun to do things like this. And woo, what a ceremony, you know. I know Will Packer was the producer on this, and it would have been really cool to have had Kevin Hart host, since I know that they're really good friends. He's also good friends with Jada. I know he said he had surprises in store, and I thought that just meant a wild DJ Khaled at the beginning, but it was more than that. And it was just an interesting ceremony. You know, I don't think it was the worst ceremony, but it was definitely the messiest ceremony. It was interesting to see a lot of extra bits that they put in there, like Leguizamo coming out and talking about that the first Oscar was not Oscar, but Oscar, that there was actually a Mexican model for it. So the Academy website denies that there's a model. I'm telling you right now, I'll pull a Will Smith if it turns out that they're going to change it in a couple years just to be more progressive when they've been denying it this whole time. But other than that, I'm curious to know your thoughts on the ceremony, the winners, what you're looking forward to next year, who you think are going to be the Oscar hopefuls, all of that good stuff. And until next time, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or the Smiths will come get you.